The other game that I played this week is one that I went down to London to play this week. Got invited to a preview event for Grid. Now, initially, I kept calling it Grid 2, but it's not Grid 2 because that game came out, and this is
just
Grid.
like a reboot, right?
Yeah, this is. I think internally they're calling it Grid 2019, so it's a bit of a reboot. But oh my good lord, that game looks pretty.
Yeah, it does in the trailer I've seen. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I can't really speak to it too much in terms of, you know, in the way that, you know, me and Gary can talk about PES for a little bit and compare it to previous versions and compare it to other football games and, you know, pick out bits from PES 5 and say, well, it's like this. I can't do that with Grid because I'm not a massive racing game sort of connoisseur, but I will, you know, I'll play them if we get them through for review and I'll you know, go through everything. But the one thing that I did notice when we got Grid through, when I went to play Grid, was that the console that I was on, it was very, very difficult to play. I was like, Jesus, this is really hard. Then I went into the menus and found out that the person that was on it before me had set some really, really crazy custom difficulty setting where he'd done so much tuning. I was like, Jesus Christ.
That's a way to play it. Well, it's like the Forza games like that.
Well, have you ever played one of the Formula 1 games and taken all the assists off?
No,
it's like, it is hard.
The motorsport games, I really like it when you take the assists off because it feels like you're more in control. I mean, it's difficult, but once you get used to it, it's just so much more fun to drive.
Yeah.
Well, personally speaking.
I think the thing for me was that, like, I was there for the event. I wasn't there to kind of, you know, learn in depth the mechanics and get my head around everything that way and try and figure out, you know, do I hit the accelerator as I'm hitting the apex on the corner and all the rest of it. I was like, I just want to come in, play the game, get a feel for it, drive, get some footage, and then play some multiplayer, and then that'll be it. But like, once I'd set it back to like medium settings, it actually felt really, really good. There was a decent array of cars that you could pick from. Basically, from what the guy said to me when I walked in, they basically had the entire game unlocked. In its current state, so it was like you could play the career, you could play the races, and if you do a single player thing, what you do is I can't remember if I played the original or not, because I think you reviewed it for us, didn't you, Gary?
Blimey, you put me on a spot now.
I think
it's so long ago.
I seem to remember it, but I'm not. Okay, anyway, basically, yeah, with it you get you instead of just going into a race, you create the race, you create your own event.
Okay.
So it's like you give it the name, you give it the logo, you choose what type of cars, you know, what all that stuff, and basically you create like a race weekend.
Nice.
And then you go in and you do your race, and then you go back to the main menu and do it all over again if you want to play it single player, or if you want to do a quick race kind of thing. It's really cool. Like it's a similar way of doing it to how you normally would, in terms of you choose your track, you choose your car, and away you go. But the way they've set it up, it actually feels really good.
They do make a good racer, Codemasters.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, and they very clearly love it as well. Like there was when I was trying to play it with these ridiculous difficulty settings, I was playing this. I was playing a level. I was in a race, and I couldn't control the car for shit, and I kept getting banged into. I kept losing it on corners and hitting the wall. Kept basically like just completely destroying my car, and then about halfway through the third lap, like the bottom section of my bodywork just flew off the car.
Oh wow!
And I was like, Jesus Christ, okay. Wow. And then, of course, I got to the end of the race and I found out that the front of my car had also fallen off. So,
that's mad.
Like, as I spanned the camera around at the end, the game director came over to me and was, what the hell have you done to that beautiful car? And I just kind of went, well, yeah, I'm just testing out the damage mechanics, obviously.
Yeah. So I take it it's got, like, full damage sort of on it, is it? It's not like, because I know a lot of car companies are very sort of, what's the word? Like, they don't really like.
Yeah, they're really funny about it.
Yeah, like it happened with Gran Turismo a lot. back in the early days. I think it still does now, doesn't it, with Gran Turismo?
Gran Turismo is very tricky when it comes to destruction and things like that. But the damage model in this is fantastic. It's clearly a new one. They were saying there that they've got a new damage model.
Yeah, you tested that out.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. But there was one car. I can't remember what car it was, but it had like a dual exhaust coming out the middle.
Okay.
In that it was like slightly raised, so there was a hole cut out in the bodywork. And then as I went round a corner, another car like slammed into me, and it actually knocked one of the exhausts slightly loose. So as I was going around, the track, like you could see it. You could see one half of the two pipes wobbling. So that was wobbling, and the other one was complete. It's so detailed. It's brilliant.
That's out soon, right?
It's next. I think it's beginning of next month.
Okay, so yeah, not long.
So, yeah,
couple of weeks.
Yeah, a few weeks. And from what I understand, we should hopefully get that in shortly as well. So that'll be hopefully a decent in-depth review. But I also got to play some multiplayer. There was about 8 people there for our session, and the multiplayer is great fun.
Yeah,
like I was, I'd kind of had the car picked for me because I joined the session in the second race, and I was playing as I was driving a Volvo, and as I went around one of the corners, it went onto 2 wheels, and then I hit the car. Yeah, so like the speed I was going and the way I took the corner, it went onto 2 wheels, and then my roof hit the car on the right.
That's mad.
I just did a barrel roll. I did like a full barrel roll in the air.
Quality.
And the guys from Cody's were like, "Can we have that as a clip? Because I think we might need to use that because I've never seen that before." I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then literally 2 laps later, I did the same thing again.
That's mad.
So yeah, that's Grid. I really enjoyed my time with it at the preview. So it's one I'm really looking forward to now. It's kind of jumped up the list a little bit.